What made your sweet grandpa snap in front of the whole family? My grandpa Joe was the definition of gentle. 75 years old, always smiling, the type who rescued spiders instead of squashing them. He'd been with our family construction company for 50 years. Started as a laborer and worked his way up to foreman. Every worker loved him. Last Thanksgiving, we had the whole family over. 23 people packed into Grandma's dining room. My Uncle Brad was there with his new Tesla and designer watch, bragging about his promotion at the bank. He always made little comments about Grandpa still working construction at his age. We were passing around the turkey when Brad started his usual routine. "Hey, Dad, when you gonna retire already? Can't be good for your back hauling lumber at 75. Grandpa just smiled and kept carving, but Brad wouldn't let it go. "I mean, I could probably get you something at the bank. Greeting customers or something more dignified." Grandma's hand tightened on her fork, but Grandpa stayed calm. "I like what I do, son." That's when Brad's teenage kid Tyler piped up. "Dad says construction workers are just people who couldn't get into college." The room went dead silent. Even the kids stopped fidgeting. Grandpa set down the carving knife real slow, stood up from his chair. His hands, those weathered, scarred hands that built half this town, were trembling. "Brad," he said, voice steady but cold. "You see this house?" Brad nodded, confused. "I built it with these hands. Every wall, every beam." He turned to Tyler. "That school you go to? I poured the foundation. The hospital where you were born? I laid the bricks." Then he walked around the table, pointing at each family member. "Sarah's first apartment after her divorce? I renovated it for free so she'd have somewhere safe. Michael's auto shop? I stayed up 3 nights straight to finish it before his grand opening." He stopped at Brad. "And your fancy bank, the one you're so proud of? I was project foreman. Spent 2 years of my life making sure every inch was perfect." Brad's face was getting red. "Dad, I didn't mean, you know what I did last week?" Grandpa cut him off. "Trained 6 ex-convicts trying to turn their lives around. Guys your bank wouldn't even let through the door. Now they've got real skills, real jobs." He picked up his car keys from the counter. "I've got more degrees than credits to my name, but I've built things that'll last centuries." "What have you built, Brad? Besides debt for regular folks?" Then he turned to Tyler. "Your dad's teaching you that honest work ain't worth respect, that looking down on people makes you bigger, but all it really does is make you smaller." The silence was deafening. Grandpa grabbed his jacket. "I'm going to check on the Riverside project. Got a family sleeping in their car and we're surprising them with a finished house tomorrow. 20 volunteers coming at dawn. Electricians, plumbers, roofers, all uneducated folks your dad looks down on." He paused at the door. "Oh, and Brad, that promotion you keep bragging about, your boss Jim Morrison, I taught him carpentry when his dad walked out. Still sends me a Christmas card every year thanking me for showing him what real work ethic looks like." The door closed with a quiet click. We sat in stunned silence for about 10 seconds. Then Grandma stood up, grabbed her coat, and headed for the door. "Where you going, Mom?" my aunt asked. "To help my husband build a house for people who need it." "Anyone coming?" One by one, everyone stood up, even Tyler. Brad sat alone at the table, surrounded by cold food. "This is ridiculous," he muttered. "No," Grandma said over her shoulder. "What's ridiculous is forgetting where you came from. Your father paid for your college by working double shifts. Maybe it's time you remembered that." We spent the night at the construction site, Grandpa teaching Tyler how to use a level. Brad showed up around midnight with coffee and donuts, work gloves in his pocket. Didn't say much, just started hauling lumber alongside his dad. Sometimes the sweetest people snap in the quietest ways. They don't yell or throw things. They just tell the truth so clear it cuts through years of BS. That family never did sleep in their car. They woke up to a finished home and 24 people covered in sawdust and truth.